You're watching PowerNation.
Today on Detroit Muscle, we're laying down the law, starting with Judgment Day for an old GTO door. We'll slice into some classic crusty sheet metal to show you how to make way for modern power windows. Then, it's out with the old and in with the bold as we freshen up the rear seat and drop in a new carpet and some thrones worthy of this king of the street. We also go under the hood of a classy lady, a pristine piece of Detroit muscle wrapped in 2 tons of rolling royalty. Back in 1969, you could get a lot of cool options on a Pontiac GTO. Hurst dual gate shifter, tilt column, air conditioning, all kinds of stuff. However, our car was a little bit more bare bones of that, but we still want a few modern twists. So we're gonna be adding some power windows. And if you've ever considered doing this swap on your project, but you're worried about the complications involved, Tommy's got a few tricks up his sleeve to show you that this may not be as difficult as you think.
Warning, the following is for demonstration purposes only. You don't need to remove your door skin to install power windows. No GTO judges were harmed in the making of this video. Viewer impression is advised.
You know, converting your old car to some modern conveniences is pretty much the sweet spot. And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing on our GTO. This car that we have come out with manual windows. We're wanting to convert it over to the electric. Now, we found a company called Nu-Relics that offers quite a few options out there for different makes and models. And so we picked up a kit and have started to install them into our car. I've got an old door here that I picked up from my buddy, Mr. Bill Stovall, off of one of his old Judges. And what we're gonna do with this thing is cut this outer skin off so that you guys can see how easy this swap can be. Yeah, fixed it. Dang, that thing's crunchy. We'll probably need to reattach that. First order of business is going to be removing the regulator. Now, normally with them things, they have 3, maybe 4 bolts that hold them in place, or even some cars have rivets, and they'll have to be drilled out. So we'll just zip those bolts out, and then we can take this out of this thing. And we can slide that down. This little track here, we can take it out from the top. Good. Yep, it comes out that way. Just remembered something that I did. And this is where it can be a little bit difficult. It's a good idea when you're putting these in that you get them all started first. Got some of that dad knowledge. Pop preached that to me. Do it. Now we're going to take our wiring harness and plug it into the motor. So we'll put this little pigtail on here. Might should have plugged that in before right now. Might have been a little easier to line up. And then grab your black lead and red lead using your brown and your blue wires here. Put on the little jumper wires. So what we need to do is kind of actuate that motor so that we can rotate that arm down a bit. And all I'm going to use to do this is one of our little batteries. Just hold it in place. Bump it. Now, one thing that's kind of neat is this hole and this hole is designed so when you bolt the glass in, it gives you access to the little nut. So that's why I have this pivot 2 points here located at that point. That's where you would be putting this thing. And then this piece slide into place. Okay, now we need to drop that glass in. Now we'll bump that back up. Ooh, the other up. Wiring connections are super simple. You've got a blue and a brown. They go out here on number 1. Then when it comes to your red and blacks, your red goes to number 2 and the black to number 3. And then we gotta juice this thing up. So using that little battery, we're just gonna plug this thing into there. And then hook up your little knob here. The window should work. It's pretty sweet.
Up next, it's all back seats and build sheets as things get steamy with our GTO.
We got a little bit of some labor we're gonna have to do to install those new seat covers for the rear. These original ones aren't terrible, but they're old and the threads in them are starting to pop. You can tell from whenever you get it on it, you can literally hear the threads starting to break. Awesome. Part of the build sheet. Well, that's pretty cool. Show you. I'm gonna have to compare that to the rest of that thing. Alrighty, the fun's begin. Part of the material we're needing. Yes, sir. Sitting here looking at this thing, you can tell how nice that seat frame actually is. Right up here, the thing's still in nice, clean, bare metal. And have hardly any corrosion on it at all. Got a couple of seat covers here, which aren't original style. They got a bit more flair to them. Now it's time to fasten this little dude down, and to do that, we're gonna use these things called hog rings. Now it does require a special little tool, and you take them and put them in the pliers, and then you crimp it down, and that rolls around your cord and your springs essentially onto the seat. Now the way I prefer to do this is you hook it into the seat cover first. Once you get it in there, you can pull it down around the spring and then crimp it. My great-grandmother worked for Chrysler's in Detroit, and they got busy and was zipping these things through there, and she ran her 3 fingers through the sewing machine. And so I'm like, what did you do? She said, I just stopped the machine and pulled the thread out. And I'm like, freaking out still. But she was just like, yeah, wasn't no big deal. That lady was awesome. And yeah, looks pretty good. You want to see a nice tight stretch cover, and you don't want to see any like folds or nothing like that. We do have a little bit of some indentations and wrinkles from it being in that box for as long as it has. Now these normally will come out over time if you just let it kind of heat cycle out in the sun. But if you want to speed up that process, all you need is a steamer. What this does is it kind of softens up that vinyl and lets it be a bit more pliable. It may take a few times and rub it across there and kind of mash it around, massage it almost, if you will. Real nice, Clark, real nice. Wouldn't think that's a alarm. Yeah, that'll work. Throw it down there like you just don't care.
Coming up, it's through the door and under the hood of a custom car we show. You know, guys, there's no denying that the perfect blend of classic styling and modern performance can really elevate a build. And nobody knows that more than our buddy Chris Ryan, who recently stopped by to showcase his 1956 Lincoln Continental Mark II that he aptly named the Scarlet Lady. And if you like what you're about to see, head on over to PowerNation TV to check out the full version, as well as much, much more.
PowerNation Under the Hood is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment.
Success can be defined in many ways and forms. When it comes to car building, Candy and Chrome will take you straight to the top. Chris, my friend, you have brought in one pretty little lady.
Hey, Tommy, good to see you.
Man, this ride you have here is gorgeous, man. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great to be here.
So I want you to tell me a little about this thing.
This is a 56 Continental Mark II. It's one of Ford's excesses, if you will.
Right.
These were like 10 grand in 56, which was a stupid amount of money. That's like 110, 120 grand today.
They didn't really make a whole lot of these, did they?
2 years it ran. They made 3,000 of them. These were a special car in 56 and 57. You had to be somebody to own one of these. Elvis had one, Frank Sinatra had one.
So with this car, you know, customs is really and truthfully is why it like got me in kind of the automotive industry, because they're rolling pieces of sculptures of art in a way. But when you were building this one, have you got any like hate mail because of the connoisseur of this car?
I'm sure somebody from Ford, some Ford lover today that loved the original Mark II is upset because we kind of cut and tweaked and moved things.
Oh, yeah.
And Ford did a lot of stuff right in 56 and 57, so I didn't want to change the look of the Mark II. I just wanted to accentuate it and change things that I thought we could have made better 70 years ago. But I'm sure some original guys look at this going, oh my.
I see some of the stuff you cut up, but some of it is factory. Like the wheelbase from the cowl to the center line of the front axle. The bottom of that fender is 20 inches long, and normally like a 55 Ford's about 10 inches.
You realize how long this is when you start block sanding.
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
It's still a Lincoln. It's still a lot of car. And there's a lot of sheet metal and a lot of square inches to cover to get this car done. But yes, this fender's huge.
Saying that, like the length of that hood is crazy. So sitting in it looking across that, man, or down that.
Dude, it's cool though.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, you feel like you're somebody when you're sitting in a Mark II going down the road in this thing. I mean, it's a great car to drive. You know, it's a comfortable, at the time, big dollar cruiser, you know.
Looking at the top on this thing, it doesn't, I'm confused. Is it actually chopped, or did you, like, I think it was more bulbous at the top.
We took 2 inches out and sunk it down this way. The back glass was laid over and sunk in the trunk. The front windshield, we had a guy, I think it's a Chicago glass guy, Chicago. Brian Harding's his name. He cut the glass, and it took several pieces of glass to cut it. And it's not cheap.
Right. We're going to need another one.
So the roundness of this glass makes it difficult to cut the glass. Flat glass is a lot easier to cut, but we cracked several pieces trying to get the glass to the right shape. So then we did that, and we decided that the top was still just a little too tall. I don't know if it's the correct technical term, but I call it the head of the car, this distance right here between the top of the windshield now. It was still wide here.
Right.
It looked too fat. Portions are off. So it took 3/4 of an inch out of the top here as well, the top.
Tail lights, wow. It's missing something too. Isn't there supposed to be
Yeah.
a Continental iconic spare tire thing back here?
You sound like the original guy now.
I'm just saying, I like this better.
So I wanted this car to emulate what somebody like Barris, Winfield, Bill Hines, the custom icons or pioneers of our industry. I wanted to emulate what they were doing back in the day. A good friend of mine, Jack Walker, he told me, if you can walk from the front of the car to the back of the car and you're looking at the car and your eyes don't stop, You got it right.
So
When I was walking to the back of this car, if you will, and I hit this big round hump here, because Ford did a lot of stuff right today, but they screwed it up there because they had to put a spare tire in the car there. It stopped. So to make the car flow better, we took that wheel well hump off, got rid of it, and now the back end just flows much nicer to the ground.
Yeah, this thing has that like leaning forward, looking fast, sitting still stance to it. And
we've taken a smorgasbord of parts, whether it be Ford, Chrysler, GM, whatever, and kind of smushed them all together. But that's what custom guys did in the day.
Yeah.
That's a 60 Chrysler dash. That's actually electroluminescent. It doesn't have lights in it. It actually glows. 64.5 T-Bird seats. We use a lot of the T-Bird seats because we can take the back of them, and that's stock.
Yeah.
And we can smooth them up and paint them body color and get them chrome plated. And
I really like also how there's not really any knobs or switches and all that kind of stuff, how it's just very minimal and clean. We need to see what's under the hood, man.
I got you, man. Let's get it.
Wow, it's even sparkly under here, brother.
You got to finish the whole car. And I'm big about not seeing things. Sometimes it's not just the parts you put on, it's covering stuff up like batteries and brake boosters and radiators. You don't see anything under here. That's not quite stock motor.
Nah, that's a late model Coyote, right?
Yeah, it's Ford Racing Coyote, 480 horsepower. Sometimes what makes a car good looking is what you don't see.
Right, yeah.
I know that sounds way too simple, but making a car clean and not seeing everything makes it better looking. In my mind, that's my opinion, but what do I know?
I agree with that. I agree with it. Because a lot of, engine bays a lot of time are ugly. It's just so much going on.
Yeah.
But you can't put ugly with any kind of description on this thing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I do.
I want to say thank you for bringing it in here and letting us look at it, going over it with us. And also the other side of it is you basically have planted seeds in other people in a matter of giving them the ability to dream of creating and trying hard and showing off what you can do.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, buddy.
Up next, we get fired up and poke around until everything is sitting pretty. Well, I pretty much got the carpet set in place where it's gonna stay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is locate and punch out our holes for our seat belts and our seat brackets. Now, if you've never done this before, you're gonna be half tempted to just grab a drill and a bit and just drill straight through the carpet. But I'm gonna encourage you not to do that, because what can happen is the fibers of the carpet will latch into that drill bit and it'll actually start to unravel the whole thing. Instead, grab you an angle pick, straight pick, and a butane torch. Trust me. You start by going underneath, go straight through the factory bolt hole till I can feel it punching through the carpet a little bit. All right, got a little mark here. Right there-ish. Gonna punch straight through here. There we go. Down into that hole. All right, now that I know for sure that hole is right there, you're gonna grab our straight pick, our butane torch. You can also use a little propane torch. Just gonna heat this little bad boy up. Doesn't need to be glowing cherry red or anything. Just get it good and hot to where it's gonna punch straight through the carpet fibers and the insulation. Swap them out, one pick for another. Straight through. Now this heated pick is also gonna singe like the ends of those carpet fibers, so when you go to bolt it in, that bolt doesn't unravel the fibers either. Look at that, nice straight hole all the way down. So far in this build, we've been able to maintain the style and elegance that a GTO is known for, but with a few modern twists. We're going to continue that tradition by adding in a Cruiser Collection Pro Series set of seats that we got from the guys at TMI. Now this set is specific to a GTO, but if you're building something a little more crazy or off the wall in your garage, they do offer universal kits as well. I'm going to go ahead and slap these brackets together, then we'll do a test fit. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but back in '73, GM introduced what they called the swivel bucket seats. You can get them in most A bodies like a Monte Carlo, Chevelle, El Camino. Those things are really cool. See, what you could do, you'd be sitting in the driver's seat, pull a little lever, swivel the whole seat, and you can get in and out of the car. Get one of these in the car. Like a go-kart in here. Ah, there we go. Mm-hmm. Yep, that'll work. Our 69 GTO is starting to live up to its name and stand on business. This murdered out ride is the definition of a sinister build. With slick black vinyl, custom stitching, and a 5-speed gracing the floorboard. Project Henchman is dangerously close to being finished and becoming America's most wanted piece of Detroit muscle.